All right, welcome everyone to the official first live stream of VLAMP, Video Lighting, Audio, Music, and Photography How-To Show. I'm, of course, your host, Matt Haslam, and today we are actually live streaming how to make a commercial from beginning to end. This is just basically a test to see if this actually works and all the settings are properly aligned, because for those who don't know, next week is actually the official first. Next week is the 100th episode of VLAMP, and we are planning on going live with that. Actually, we're not planning on doing just a thing where it goes up online like a normal episode would. We're actually planning on going live with that. So today is basically the test and beta for all that, and to see if the new software, which by the way we are using OBS, which is Open Broadcaster Systems, I believe. Yeah, Open Broadcaster Systems. So, yeah, I believe so. Open Broadcaster software. So, we're using that to go live with today, which is like right here on your screen. There is another screen over here on my right side, over that way. So basically that just tells me the streaming info. Normally we would have this program monitor over on the second screen because I just like editing that way. There's no real wrong way to edit anything. It's just I prefer to have my program monitor over on the right side and this main monitor have the source right here and then the effects right here normally. Normally it's sort of like that on this screen, but today it's just one screen because we are broadcasting live. And so today we're going to be working through basically a little short video. And in that short video, we have to basically, yeah, in that short video, we have to advertise our new album. And then we go to actually advertising our commercials and stuff like that. So we might do another broadcast for this commercial, which is right here. And this is kind of why I wanted to test things out and see if it all works, because I don't know exactly if my microphone is at the proper volume or what you're going to hear here is going to be at the right volume. I don't know. So you guys would have to tell me that in the comment section below. Or you can tell me live right now, actually, which is kind of the cool part because I've never done this before. So you get to tell me live what's going on. And I get to show you what's going on live as well. This is all brand new for me, so you're gonna have to like give me some time to get used to this. But anyway, yeah, so this is all new, but we're gonna start off by importing some footage. Well, let me first like test out this audio because again, you guys can tell me if this is good audio or not. So
here at Matt Haslam Productions, we know how to sell. In fact, we've been helping our customers sell hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of their products and services since 2001 by providing amazing small business commercials at an affordable price. We have filmed for BBC, HBO, Showtime.
Okay, so like that would be how the audio goes. But like I said, first we have to import footage for this little tiny short video. Like, by the way, this up on your screen right now is another commercial that we are working on that we might do another broadcast for. I'm not quite sure if we would have to do that just to like figure out the settings and shit. And by the way, this is not rated, so it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But like I said, we're gonna have to import some footage because This little commercial, by the way, we're trying to do is advertising our basically our single that just came out. If you're not aware, I just came out with a single for One Word, which is probably find it here. Don't want thumbnails, I want videos. And then we want, yeah, we want that. Let's see the actual video that we're advertising.
Amazing how one word can bring us all together after all these years of fighting.
That's the cool part. I get to like go a little bit fast here with the edit. But that is the new music video that we're just coming out with. It is now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon MP3. We had a little problem with getting it on iTunes and stuff like that, just because iTunes takes a couple days, and we didn't realize that to get it on there. And the distributor that we used for getting our albums out there, it took quite a bit longer than what we thought for them to get it out there. We gave it to them in plenty of time to get it out there for Monday, July 3rd, which was my birthday, and we wanted it out that way. When the music video came out on my birthday, everything would be out, you know? And turns out the only thing that was out was the album was available on CD Baby, on their official website, but it wasn't available on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon MP3, and Shazam, and all the other places that we wanted it. So most of the people that would buy it didn't buy it on that day. And so now what we have to do is we have to come up with another video just to advertise that now it is out on iTunes. Now it is out on these places. So what I got in front of me is an SD card. Shockingly, in an edit room, you have a bunch of SD cards. But anyway, this is footage that we shot. Oh gosh, this was, I guess, Tuesday, which was July 4th here in the United States, which is Independence Day. We had a little party and stuff like that. And during that, and I know GoPro's going to pop up here, but I'm going to show you guys how we import footage, because this is really important. Like, if you're in the media world at all, you're going to have tons and tons of footage. This is the main problem that most people deal with when they're coming into the industry of, you know, as you can probably see here on the left bottom of your screen, like, look how much footage we have just for what will be, in the end, a 2-minute and 13-second long commercial for our commercials division of MHP. But, I mean, you sometimes have, you know, terabytes of footage for, let's say we're editing a school musical or a graduation or a sporting event or something like that. You know, we're going to have terabytes of footage for that project that we have to edit through. And so all that's going to be over here, and we need to organize all that. That way, you know, a year from now or something like that, we can always go back to that file and bring it back, you know. And some people get confused when I say, you know, that I keep every single thing I've ever shot, because why do you do that, you know? Normally in the video and photography world, you get rid of things after a project is over, and well, I don't do that. I tend to keep everything from everything I do, and that is because there are a lot of times in just the industry that you know, someone will come up to me a year from now and say, "Hey, do you have this piece of footage from, you know, 2-3 years ago from this event that you filmed?" And let's say we took a wide shot on it, on a certain part in the film, and they want like a highlight reel or a demo reel of their acting or something, you know. So we want to zoom into them specifically, And rather than doing it all in post and just like cropping the image, which is really, really not the way you should do it. See, normally I have proper English. That's really not the way you should do it. But what you have to keep in mind is like we have all this footage. We have 10 cameras on a normal production. So why don't we go back and capture why don't we go back and get the piece of footage from the camera that was zoomed in, you know? Because we normally have a wide shot in the very back. We normally have a camera that's zoomed in all the way. And we usually have a couple cameras on stage. We usually have a couple cameras that are zoomed in all the way to capture the close-ups, you know? So why don't we go back and grab that footage from the close-up? And without keeping every piece of footage from every project, we can't do that. You know, we can't go back and grab something if it's not there anymore. We just, and some videographers just keep the finished project files of what they're doing. You know, that's really not safe for what we do. We need to have everything from every project. And so right now I'm going to show you how we actually organize things. By the way, I am on a Mac computer. For those of you who are on PC computers and stuff like that, you can do things in the same way for organizing your footage if you like this way, or if maybe you have a better way to do it. We did an episode a while back on, believe in season 2 of this show, we did an episode on, trying to find it. This is, okay, so episode 44 of the show was how to edit an unorganized mess. That episode was on basically how we organized our footage way back when, but now we have a new way, which is even better, which I absolutely love. So we're going to show that to you right now. This is Finder. Basically what you would have on a Windows computer or a PC computer would be Windows tab. So you're going to click on that. I'm just going to bring this over so you can actually see it on this screen. We do have a RAID system here in the office, and for those of you who don't know what RAID stands for, RAID stands for redundant array of independent drives, or it could also mean redundant array of inexpensive drives. So we're going to click on that. We have our Adobe files, which are basically the Premiere, Illustrator, Lightroom, Audition, After Effects, Photoshop files. All that is under this tab. Documents is like our personal and business documents are on there, of like accounting and all that cool stuff that you need to do if you're in business. Finished video projects. We have 2 different files under this where we keep everything that's finished. One is videos of like every single video we've ever, broadcasted, we've ever put out there. That is the finished file. That is the full HD or best resolution of that file that came out of our editing program of choice whenever we did it, whether that be Final Cut, Premiere, way back when we used Magix Video Pro X4. We used a bunch of different programs over the years, and that's where all the files are kept. And basically that way we can go back to the best resolution, rather than when we uploaded it to YouTube having to download it again for ourselves, Thumbnails are basically the thumbnail that we used for each and every video. Under both of these files we have subject files of like, I don't want to show it on video here, but we have subject files of like, this is all Matt Haslam Productions clients. We have Matt Haslam file there for the music channel, for Matt Haslam Vivo YouTube channel. We have a file there for a couple different studios that I've worked for over the years. Basically anything that any project that I've done is right here that I have access to, for like demo reels and show reels and stuff like that of my work. It's all right there. The thumbnails are all right there. Then footage is all the footage. So all the footage that makes up those finished video files. I mean, I should note here that the work I do for other studios, I don't have the original footage to. all I have is the broadcast, a copy of the broadcast, so that way I can use it in a show reel or demo reel and stuff like that. But the footage right here is just footage from like our cameras for our productions. And under that, you're going to see a whole bunch of different files of like, this is every single year, that we film things. And in each one of these files is a ton of files. And then stock assets, which is a really cool file that we have under our footage, which is basically from different sources that we've gotten things over the years. By the way, if you haven't checked out some of the cool things that are on the internet, there are a bunch of free assets that are available to you. Basically, under here you have Rampant Design. If you basically sign up for their mailing list, I think it's somewhere on the website. If you sign up for the mailing list, they give you like a whole bunch of free assets, and I think it's like rampantdesigntools.com or something like that. That is their website. But I mean, they're a fantastic resource if you want to pay for resources and stuff like that. There's plenty. Like basically, this is like a sampler pack of Dust Sparks Embers, and then basically they want you to buy the full pack of Dust Spark Embers, if you get my drift, So each one of these actually is, let's say, smoke pack. They have different smoke assets that you can put into your films, and this is like a free pack of 4 of them. But as you can see, it's like 026, 040, 071, 132. So, and it's really, really cool assets that you can add into your films. But there's a lot more on their actual smoke pack that you can buy if that's what you're doing. If you're doing a bunch of work that requires smoke assets, then you might want to buy that pack. And they're relatively inexpensive. For me, I generally just use the ones that are in here, like glitch transitions. I use a lot for my work. And this way, I have some sort of like little transition to get into the next scene, that makes it look really professional. And then Cinecom, which is another very, very fantastic resource for filmmakers. They have a YouTube channel. I believe it is cinecom.net YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. I know both of these have YouTube channels. Let me see. Cinecom. Yeah, it's just cinecom.net. So they have a YouTube channel. I'll show it right there. So that's the YouTube channel you want to go to. And then they have a website which offers all this stuff, So definitely go there and check it out because it is awesome. But they give away like free stuff every once in a great while, which I very, very much appreciate, and I want to support them more. But they give like sample lower thirds and stuff that, as you're going to see in the essential graphics panel over here, we've already imported them, of all these like cool lower thirds. We've actually used lower thirds and blew them up to full screen size and used them as full screen graphics over the years, or like, I shouldn't say over the years because they just came out with it a little while ago. But there's other assets that they came out with a while back, and we've used those for a while. So that is like stock assets that we have at the ready. We put all of our stock assets in there. Right now we don't have like 1 million of them, but we don't really need 1 million of them either. This is a thing where, sorry about the traffic, by the way. If it's really hot in the studio, so I have the window open, and we can't have a fan on because we're on mic and we're on air. So, but right now we don't have 1 million of them. I don't think you need 1 million of them. I don't think this is a thing where you need to have, all these stock assets, because like, if you think about it this way, you can create your own assets as well, and that's what we've done. I'll say this. Every year, the first like week or two of the year, we come up with of course, the first week we're kind of in the process of getting, all these all of our accounting done for the year. Like January 1st kind of week is a week for us to get all of our accounting from the past year together, and that way we can hand it over to the IRS every year, and that way all of that's handled in the first week. I don't want to worry about that. We also like worry about our budgets and stuff of that for the following year, of like how much we're going to spend in marketing, how much we're going to use here, how much we're going to what equipment we need, so on and so forth. I mean, all of that is figured out in the first year, or the first week of every year. And typically, like the second week of the year, we go through and we make a ton of stock graphics. That way, we're ready for any type of event that is out there. And I'll actually show you the file that we have for that. Should be under here. Yes, right here. Oh, that's not it. Definitely not it. So, sure, yeah. So, all right. So basically, we have all of these stock pieces of footage. We have or the pictures and assets, and then each one of these we have like full screen 7. We can. I'll take it down to one thing. That way you can actually see what I'm doing. I keep forgetting to do that, but window. Let me see where it's at actually, because there's a lot more of them. I just confused myself, and that's what's wrong. And I know you're like saying yourself right now, wow. Oh, project panel, that's what it was. Okay. Project. Where? What? So the project panel's not coming up actually. So I'll just click on one that I actually like when I'm over here. So no, I don't want to do that. So like I'll have different assets already created in here, right? So I have things for, as you can probably tell from these little things, I have things created for like Independence Day, political rallies and stuff like that with the American flag. I have Halloween stuff, Christmas stuff, more Halloween stuff, Valentine's Day, or like marriage kind of things. Crosses I have for like baptisms and stuff like that, or any kind of religious event we're doing. Star of David for other kind of religious, basically anything that you can think of, we have an asset for it. And what we call assets here are basically graphic templates, right? And see, next year when we're creating all these assets for the following year, for 2018, we're going to have all of these in the essential graphics panel over here. But for right now, everything is multiple layers on this. And I mean, some of them we've gone ahead and created. When we create like a new one, like a transition or something like that, which I'll show you right now. But so it does like that. right? And that's something we created for the 100th episode special. And anytime we create something new, now we're going to put it over here in our little bin. But these are just basic stock assets that we can bring into any project, change the text on them, and say whatever we want. If we need a lower third for a corporate event, we can say, John Smith is the CEO of this company, or and like the company logo over here. We can change everything inside of this. We can change the size of that white box. We can change the size of the blue box. We can change everything about it, but it's now a stock thing where we don't have to go recreating it every single time, just like with these, I'll show you this from beginning to end. So that's pretty darn simple, but at the end of the day, when we're doing a baptism, let's say, or a religious event, we don't have months to create graphics. We don't have weeks to do it. We sometimes only have 24 hours where we're doing 24-hour edits for our clients, and we need these stock assets to bring into a project and go, this has to look professional, but at the same time, we need to do it really, really fast. And so that's why we need to create these things. And like, I just typically put something in like a project name that I might like, oh, okay, that's what I meant to do with this. So like baptism, Clark and Beetle, we actually did the baptism of, this is my nephew right here, but we actually filmed that baptism. I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. And that baptism, I just use the name of it. That way I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, what did I mean to use this full screen graphic for? And then on the website, I believe, maybe it's on the YouTube channel, but we just have, let me find it here. So we just have a playlist of all of these stock assets, which are actually privatized under that channel, which I can't get to right now because we're live streaming on VLAMP channel. But I just have like a whole playlist of videos that show all of these different assets, like the hundreds that we have. And that way, at any time, I can, just look up in that file and go, what would be appropriate for this project? And then what I do is in my project file, I just click there and I go to the project here and import that selected sequence. And then I just change the text when I go into here, or now that I have the Essential Graphics panel, I can change the text actually by just going into there and, rewriting that text, So that's basically what I do to do graphics and stuff like that. Everything we do nowadays is pretty much stock graphics because we have just hundreds of them. Really, once you get to a certain point, like we can create something completely custom for a customer if they want, but there's times when we only have like 24 hours to make an edit and we need that stock ability to just look it up and go, okay, this is, bring it into the project, change the text, done. There is no time to go back and say, okay, no, I don't want to do that. There is no time to go back and say, okay, we need to create this, overnight, basically. So, as I was saying way like 20 minutes ago, we do have stock assets. But then under the year here, right, we have, every project we've done this year so far. This is RAID 1, so there is RAID, I'm looking up here and seeing, there is RAID 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's like 8 here in the office, and then there's a duplicate of all 8 of those off-site somewhere at an undisclosed location. For those of you who are new to the industry of like video and film, you're going to learn the hard way probably that having a backup of all your files is much, much needed. We did have 2 ways to back up all of our footage. Now we only have one because the one went away. It's called Amazon Drive. We uploaded all of our footage to Amazon Drive, and Amazon Drive decided this year that they're going to up their prices. Rather than $60 a year, unlimited storage, no matter how much you wanted it, $60 a year, to now being $60 per terabyte per year, which ups us to, I mean, by the way, we have like, oh God, how much is it now? 8. It's like 36? No, it's not. I'm sorry. Let me see. The problem with live is that everything's live, and I don't have time to just edit out here. Plus that. So it's a 42 terabyte RAID system here at the office, which is backed up off-site at another location with just as much. So basically, you want to have all your footage right here at the ready. Basically, RAID 1 backs up a couple of the years here completely, but from like 2011 on, only like half the projects are in 2000 or are in RAID 1. Basically, you never want to have all your projects from the current year, 2017 or 2016 or whatever year you're working in, you know. You never want to have all of that footage on one hard drive. So we actually have some footage from 2017 in RAID 1. We have some of it in RAID 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that way, yeah, it does make it more difficult to go find something. But at the same time, it's also a thing where, you know, if that RAID fails, we only lost this section of equipment, or this section of footage. And we only have to go to the other office off-site and bring back that RAID to copy it. RAID 1 to copy it, you know, and that way you never lose everything all at once. But so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually import some footage, which is gonna everything be live, by the way, today. So let's see. This was actually shot on July 4th of 2017. So for those of you wondering, this is how we actually organize all of our footage. We actually say 2017, 07, which is the month, and then 04, which was the day it was actually recorded on. If we record more than one thing on that day, then we put the same day in and then just different titles. So right here we're going to say 04, birthday party. And you might be wondering, yeah, I actually did record a scene during my birthday party, or during this Independence Day party. Basically, this whole week has been a party for me. I've been like partying every single day. So I'm with different family members, with friends, with everyone. So it's been a great birthday week. So I just want to like put it out there. Thank you to everyone who has been, send me birthday wishes and partying with me all week long and having parties and inviting me. So thank you so much. But it's been a very busy week, and so I've filmed a lot this week. Like last week, we filmed the entire One Word music video on Thursday and Friday of last week, and then we had it out for Monday. So it's been a very, very long weekend, and we've been filming a lot. And yes, if you're watching right here, this is episode 100 right here, all the footage from that. So that is right there. And so what we're going to do now that we have our what we call and on that episode a while back we said, you know, we were talking about like organizing your footage efficiently, logging. No, it was another episode. It wasn't that episode. The live factor is throwing me off for the first time. But no, how to organize your footage or something like that, wasn't it? Oh God. See, I would normally edit all of this out, and now you're. This is the website, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. You're gonna see it before I do, I swear. Oh. But it's on here. So it's in season 2 of the show that we talk. Oh, episode 22, efficiently storing your footage. So
Today on it.
This is the video on it. It's a 13-minute video, which is really cool. Oh, you get to see that. Cool. But episode 22 is all about efficiently storing your footage, and in that show we talk about actually king files, bishop files, all these different things that make it really, really confusing. Like I said, we come up with a much, much better way now. So now you're gonna have footage here, and then 2017. Again, you don't want to put all your 2017 footage in one project or in one RAID external hard drive. You want to split that up a little bit, and then under your actual, then you want to name your file for the actual project, or the day, the year, the month, the day, and then the project name that you're gonna put in there. And now let's say this was a multiple camera event, right? So like this was a multiple camera event that we did, which had 4 cameras and then 2 Zoom H4Ns recording the entire show. So we put in camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and then we described which type of camera that was. And for some weird reason, camera 4 needed to have 2 different SD cards that day, so we had to put in GoPro Hero 3 first half, second half. Sometimes we had to do that, sometimes we don't. It's just a matter of how our SD cards feel that day. And that's the thing. A lot of people kind of just leave one SD card in the camera the entire night, and I a lot of times do that for the main cameras, but sometimes for the Hero 3, it does act up on us, and so I much prefer switching out the SD card nowadays on it and just, what's an SD card nowadays run? It's not much. So that's what I do. Sorry, that's what I do all the time. So let's say in this event, by the way, this event was just the party, so it didn't have that many cameras. And it didn't actually only had 1 camera, so I'm just gonna say camera 1. Hello? Oh, don't even tell me that wasn't even recording. Okay. See, there's going to be mistakes in the broadcast just because that's what's going to happen. Oh, God, don't even tell me that. Don't even tell me that we messed it up that bad on the first broadcast. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. I am so sorry, guys. I turned my mic off, didn't I? Anyway, we're back now. Yeah. Oh, no, that's bad. I'm sorry about that so much. Like I said, it's the first time we're live streaming. That won't happen again. But that's what happens when you're live. You turn off your microphone, apparently. So I'm sorry you missed like half of what I just said. But we're back now. And I'm just grabbing some water because I am thirsty. And it is hot in this room. It is hot in an editing suite without fans or air conditioning on. But like I said like 10 minutes ago, is that we're creating a little tiny commercial for this. And it's just conforming all the files so it can get all the audio and all that stuff. But let's actually see this footage. So, no, I don't want to do that. Let's see this footage. Because I put the camera in a really cool spot. And what we're looking for right now, by the way, I know you guys didn't hear this, is, or you might not have heard it, I don't know how exactly it all works, but there's two shots in here that I really want to get out for this new video that we're doing. Just adjusting my microphone because it's really weird right now. Is there's a shot of myself talking underwater about the new release for the single One Word that I just came out with on July 3rd. And there's another shot of underwater, myself diving in on the diving board. It's actually underwater, so it's not this shot. So it might be this one. No, it's not that one. I know it's 120 frames per second, though. So I know that. So, yeah, we're just looking for that piece of footage now. And in case you're wondering, the reason why we shoot at 120 frames per second is that basically we're looking for slow motion footage later. And yeah, how you get slow motion footage is by going on a really high fast frame rate and then slowing it down later in post, which is exactly what we're going to do today while we're live. We've been going live for over an hour now, which is awesome. But like I said, we switch back and forth, as you can probably see. Like shot 123 is 120 frames per second, and then 124 is 29 frames per second, which is actually 4K footage. And then we go right back to 1920 by 1080 with 120 frames per second. And this is actually, I think, the shot that we're looking for, which is going to be really cool. So like I said, I jump into the pool here. So I'm going to back it up a couple frames. right there. I just want to go with that for right now. And we're going to create a new sequence. This is going to be just a 1920 by 1080, simple, no 4K. Sometimes we do a 4K couple output things. Today we're not doing that because I really don't want to export this in 4K because, like I said, one of the shots is in actually 4K 30. The other shot is in 1920 by 1080 at 120 frames per second. So I'm just going to do a simple, and that's typically what you want to do. You want to go with the lowest resolution that is in your project and output that. And that way you're downscaling all the higher quality shots into something that's really nice. And then that way you're like not blowing up any pieces of footage. I've done that before for a couple projects where I'm actually upscaling footage through a program that's by Red Giant. I think it's just called Upscale. I've used it a couple times now, but Red Giant Upscale. Anyway, this is live, so I can't go look it up. But anyway, this is that's typically what you want to do. You want to just go with the highest quality settings that you can for the smallest resolution file you have, and output that. So we're gonna actually just title this one word announcement video. And I probably spelled that wrong, and you're probably saying that in the comments to me. So what we're going to do, we're not going to change the sequence settings because remember, we want 30 frames per second. We're going to keep existing settings, right? Now this is going to play at real time, right? So now it's playing at 30 frames per second. It's getting rid of like it's getting rid of like 3/4 of the file there, you know? We don't want that. We want to actually slow it down. So what you have to keep in mind with all of these types of videos, whenever you're taking footage and you're putting it on a timeline or on a sequence setting that it isn't qualified for, that it isn't perfectly in line with, like 4K, just like you would, you know, downscale a 4K resolution file to a 1080 to a 1920 by 1080 file. And of course my phone's going off because why would it not? That's what happens when you're live, people. So we're just gonna let that go, and we're just gonna pretend like it's not actually happening. Again, sorry, don't mean to be weird, but that's what happens when you're live. That isn't a customer, that's just a sales rep. But anyway, we're gonna take this footage, and now we're gonna actually change the sequence setting that way. Yeah, no, I'm in Premiere. I love how it just pops up on a Mac. If you're on a PC, by the way, it doesn't do that. Just FYI. But like I said, we recorded this at 120 frames per second. So think of it that way. So now we're on a 30 frames per second timeline, right? And we have 120 frames per second piece of footage. So in theory, if we go down to 25% here on our speed, this will still play at 30 frames per second, but now it's actually a lot slower, as you can see, and it plays it in slow motion. And I'm actually going to cut it right there because that's what I like. I don't want too much beyond that. But this is just like a really, really cool shot. And I want to take the audio from that clip, by the way, and play that as well. Cool. So that's one of our little shots that we want to use. There's another shot in here that I really, really want to use. That is not it. So some things I recorded upside down, by the way. And that's fine, because in post I can switch that too. Okay. I don't want that. That was another video I was trying to do at the same time. So, and basically, here's what you can do. If you're editing like a couple days after the project is over, then you can probably tell what what you did. And like I know from the footage that this is like I didn't necessarily know that the duration of that clip was almost 9 minutes long, but I know that it was a longer file, so I know not to look at the 23-second file that's right here. I just know that, and so I can just skip a whole bunch of footage by just doing that normally. That, like I said, that's normal. That's not what I didn't necessarily did here, because I had to look for it for a little bit. But that's normally what you do. You just typically try to remember the pieces of footage, and that's why a lot of editors will edit things, a month after a project is filmed, and I just don't understand why they do it that way, because I'd much rather edit things tomorrow, I'd much rather edit things right away, and that way I remember the footage of, like, this is what I got, I know that was a longer clip, that the shot was really good. So, and typically what I'll do is, I didn't necessarily do it for this because this was just something for fun and it was at a party, so I didn't want to like make a whole production out of it. But normally if a shot is really, really good, I will actually go in and say, if a shot is really, really fantastic, then I'll stop recording on that shot, and then I'll start recording and stop recording for like just a split second or something, just so in post I can go, oh, okay, I know for a fact that shot 102 was a second or two long, but 101 was this really, really cool shot. I can kind of like highlight my own clips really fast in during my production time, And that's something I also talked about on, how to make a clapboard video, is just, on your clapboard for the very next shot, just put a little arrow on the clapboard facing left, and that way the last shot you got was really, really good, and to use that. However, when you're at a party and you're just trying to have fun, you don't have a clapboard on you, so that's not always going to be the case. So I just typically highlight things with a little 1-second video after a really good shot. For this, it was a party, so I didn't do that. But I know for a fact the last shot I got was really pretty good. So that is not it. Yeah. This is a pool party, so if you're saying to yourself, why is Matt like that? But this is me, by the way, that you're actually seeing on the screen. Because I was talking about. That is, what? Did I do that twice? Sometimes I surprise myself during the footage. I confused myself because I thought I had the shot there. That's what happens. So let's find this piece of footage. That's our main goal for today. And I'm just adjusting my microphone. I do apologize for that. And I apologize about losing audio earlier. I should have known not to. Somehow that got hit. I didn't click it myself, but somehow it got hit. And so yeah, we're just going to look for that piece of footage now. That's our main goal today, to look for this piece of footage. I know it was... Should have been after that. Ugh. And like I said, this is the problem when you record, or when you start editing days after you film it, because you get all confused and you say to yourself, where is that piece of footage at, to yourself a lot. And I don't like editing days after a project because of that one reason. Okay, so it would have been I tried to record it. I know in 4K, so I'm not just and here's where I get all confused. That is my nephew, by the way, that I was talking about earlier in the program when we were doing graphics. And yep. I know some of it was recorded upside down, so I don't know, because I was really weird and I recorded things upside down. Because I know you can flip it in post. Like, there's effects you can use. I think if you just go in the effects browser over here and you search for flip, you're going to see two things called horizontal flip and vertical flip. This might be it, actually. I might have just found it. I might have found it. Oh my god. Did I find it? No, I didn't find it. Shit. Okay, I did find it. Okay. So I went underwater and I said, one word available now. And it's somewhere out here. So I'm going to go to the last time I said it. Which would have been right here, I believe. I'm sorry about that audio. It's horrible. So GoPros have really good audio, but they don't have really good audio underwater. So I'm going to use that one. That looks pretty good. And that is the fire engine. That's what happens when you're live, people. That's what happens when you're live for an hour and 15 minutes. Your mic cuts out halfway through the broadcast for a couple minutes, and then police go by. So here's an edit so far. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Like I was saying, there's two effects that you should always use for footage. Well, not always. These two effects right here. Horizontal flip and vertical flip. And then we're also going to downscale this because it's 4K footage. Wait, is it 4K footage? Oh, I don't know. No, it's not. What? That's weird. Oh, okay, it's from this file. So yes, it is 4K footage. Thank God. All right. So So, like I said, remember how we're going to do some titles. In the very beginning of this broadcast, we were talking about titles. So, we're going to bring in a basic title right over top of this, because you can't hear me talk on underwater, obviously. So, we're going to subtitle myself. All right. And here's how you do that. In the Essential Graphics panel, you bring over the graphic from over here, and then you actually change the title. One word. I'm just going to cut it there, right? So now it's going to go. Okay. Go back to, and this is what I love about the Essential Graphics panel now that it's actually come out, is that you can just cut wherever you need to, and it stays without, because usually if you like change this and you change this, now that would be changed as well, and now you can actually change stuff without. So now you can actually change stuff without it being all weird. You know what I mean? And changing everything you've ever done with that title. Oh, it's so much easier, for especially when you're doing documentary work where you need like a lower third to be 50 different lower thirds for people that came on the screen. Now we can actually just copy and paste and have the same graphic for everyone with different names on them. So it's a whole lot better. Oh my gosh. So now we're going to actually look for the piece of music that we recorded for this. There's a whole bunch of music on here. I need to really sort through this stuff. But we're actually looking for a song by myself here. And okay, where is it now? Oh, here it is. Okay. One word. Bring that song in.
Amazing how one word anyone should, when there's no script or map to show you the way. Don't know what I'm supposed to say. Don't know if anyone does. So all I can offer is when there's no script or map to show you the way. Don't know what I'm supposed to say. Don't know if anyone does. Reply to the cancer. All I can offer is reply with another, which is love. Oh, just love. Just love. Amazing.
All right. So we're going to bring that piece in instead. This is what happens during editing all the time, so don't be alarmed. You always go back like 20 times and figure things out.
All I can offer is reply with another, which is love. Just love. Just love.
And now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually put the link right here on a different title. That way, in case people are, and I don't mean this to sound really weird, but in case people are stupid, which you kind of have to assume that, that sounded weird with the phrasing, but whenever you're creating like a little like commercial or something like this, where it's not really where you're trying to like sell something, obviously, you kind of have to just assume people don't know things. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to iTunes and find the link itself. iTunes. And I don't know what that was. Oh, I think I actually have to go to iTunes on the app and share from there what the link is. So while that's opening, so we're actually going to go on store. We're going to search for myself. One word, which is right here. It's only 99 cents, by the way, so if you want to support local music, by all means, go there. And live on local music, go ahead. Copy link. All right, here's what we're going to do. And we're going to cut right there. And then we're going to change this. And then we're going to bring it up to... for those of you who don't know, I just memorized the positions over the years here. It's always 960 by 540. That goes direct center for whatever you're trying to do for 1920 by 1080p, or I should say. And yeah, so those two settings right there are always the same if you're doing a full HD video, and you just memorize those kind of things over the years. And if you didn't memorize them, then you should memorize them, because you're going to need that. You're definitely going to need that. And that way. Oh, that is a really long title. So what we're going to do instead of that is we're going to say a link and below. And we're just going to say that. It's pretty darn simple. And I'm going to leave it at that text. Some people like to actually I'm just going to center it up there. But some people like to change the font of something. For me, as long as people can read it, I'm pretty happy with it. I typically go with Arial or this font right here called Amatic SC, which is a really nice font. You can see it right there. It's actually a pretty nice font I use that a lot for VLAMP and stuff, but I'm pretty happy as long as people can read it in an ad sort of thing. Because like I said, this is only like a 15-second video, so I really can care less about people like not being able to read Arial font or something. I'm just not that person. I know some editors prefer different fonts and stuff. I just prefer to make it readable, as long as it's readable to me. And if you're looking at that and you can't read it because it's not an Arial font or Times New Roman or something like that, that's pretty standard, then sorry, you should be able to read that. To me, it doesn't matter. There are certain edits where I'm like, okay, like whenever I'm doing like credits or something like that for a film, I'll put it in Arial because that's a standard for credits. Or if I'm doing like an intro sequence or something like that for a film, I might put it in a certain certain font just because it's really unique to that. For instance, we just got done doing Beauty and the Beast or something like that, and we put it in a certain font that looked very Disney-like, and that's just what I like to do for that. You just sometimes want a certain font for certain applications, but I'm not one of the people that are just sitting there going, okay, I want Arial. Yeah, I'm just not that person. So, I'm gonna quit iTunes here, and I'm actually going to bring in the. I'm trying to think where I put it now. Oh no. Put it in the thumbnails, I think. Huh? And I'm just gonna bring that down a little bit. Right. So now there we go. And now this is a short little thing of.
All I can offer is reply with another, which is love. Just love. Just love.
Okay, I actually want that a little bit shorter.
All I can offer is reply with another, which is love.
I'm gonna cut this off right here because it just doesn't look natural being that long of a clip.
All I can offer is reply with another, which is love. Just love. Just love.
Just gonna make this exactly 15 seconds long.
All I can offer is reply with another, which is love. Just love. Just love.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually going to, as soon as we get out of the water, right here, I'm gonna do some audio effect on it, where it actually fades out by the time it hits here. And that way we're just hearing the audio of an actual thing. What? Oh, okay. That is actually working.
All I can offer is reply with another, which is love. Just love. Just love.
And here's another little tip I always use for going in and out of audio is I use a crossfade constant power to get into or out of audio. So I'm going to put that on everything here.
All I can offer is reply with another, which is love. All I can offer is reply with another, which is love. Just love. Just love.
Okay, cool. That looks like a cool announcement video. And as you can tell, it does take an hour and a half to make a little 15-second announcement video if you're importing footage and everything like that. I'm probably going to do a broadcast right after this of how to import footage again because that audio went out for a little bit. And I'm also going to check the stream and make sure it was good for audio, and for the most part, the audio levels are pretty good because that's what I want. And like I said, this was just a beta for a test for next week because we are broadcasting live next week, Monday, July 10th, 2017, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are broadcasting the 100th episode special of VLAMP, Video Lighting, Audio, Music, and Photography How-To Show, and that is going to be a very, very special episode. It is already, we spent so long editing that entire thing. It's like a 35-minute episode. only. Normally our episodes are like an hour nowadays, but no, it's a fantastic episode, and I highly encourage anyone who's looking to see the episode. Or I mean, we go through. I'll tell you this: we go through like the best tips we've ever given on the show. We go through the greatest moments on the show, the most inspiring moments by a special guest. We show you the funniest moments on the show, the top 5 most popular episodes we've ever had to date. We show you just a whole bunch of clips from every single episode of the show we go through in that episode. It's a fantastic one. If you haven't seen the show very much, and you're looking for maybe another resource to find good information, I highly encourage watching that 100th episode special, because you're going to see clips from every single episode in there, to kind of like, if you're looking for a certain thing, if you're just looking for, like, let's say photography tips, then you can go to the website and look up under the archive on that of I'll actually show it to you. You can go to the archive page on our website right here, where you can actually find every single episode of the show so far. And if you want to watch that specific episode, just click on it and it will take you to the YouTube video. And that way you can watch that episode. But every single episode is on here on the website under the archives page. And that way, if you're just looking for, let's say, audio production kind of tips, then you can look through here for audio tips. All the episodes that have to do with audio somewhere in there have like audio or microphone in their title. It just, if you're looking for a very specific thing, then the website is a very good resource for that. If you're looking for just the funniest moments, then you're going to want to watch the 100th episode special. I mean, we've had a ton of episodes where, I mean, this is a live episode, so everything that happens is happening, but normally it's just holy crap, we make so many mistakes making an episode that it just, we have hours of footage that were never aired because we made so many mistakes. I made so many mistakes as the host, and our special guest on the show made mistakes before. It just, we all make mistakes, and there's a reason why we're not live all the time. But I guess this episode kind of shows you that, because it's the first one and already went wrong. But hopefully we'll do better later. But this is a thing where we've had a lot of mistakes and a lot of funny moments and a lot of bloopers on the show where things have went wrong. And so we kind of wanted to show that in the 100th episode special. And we went back to all the original footage and found a whole bunch of funny moments for you. So I really hope you enjoyed today's episode, which is the first live broadcast we've done. I really hope you enjoy the 100th episode special next Monday, July 10th, 2017 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be broadcasted live. It is going to be broadcasted live on July 10th from the MHP studios. So I really hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed that one. And tune in every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a brand new episode of VLAMP for Season 5 here. I know we have up to 110 episodes completed already that are set to air. They're already on the YouTube channel, ready to go, ready to be published. And like I said, next week is going to go live. So please tune in for that. And thank you all for watching this broadcast. I am terribly sorry about the audio problems we had about halfway through this broadcast, but I hope you enjoy. I really hope you enjoy it. And thank you all for tuning in. If you have any tips of how to improve the audio quality or the video quality of this, then please comment below and let me know that. I will definitely check into those, and hopefully we will get a system in place to do that eventually. Like I said, this is the first time we've ever done this, so I want to thank you all for tuning in live or on the rebroadcast that is going to be uploaded later. And I will see you all next Monday. After the episode actually airs, we're going to be talking about the episode a little bit. We're going to be talking about the actual episode is going to air live, and then after the live broadcast, we're going to be we're just talking for a little bit. And so I really hope you join in for that. While we're on the air for that, you can ask any questions you'd like. And if you have any questions that you have for the show or myself or the experts that are behind the show, then please comment those below, and I will definitely answer them on the next episode of VLAMP, which on the next Q&A episode of VLAMP, which is probably going to be live, because I like doing the Q&As live, actually. So thanks you all for joining in, and see us next time. Bye for now.